Hi guys, welcome to Sunday, um, December 29th, basically closing out the year. We're going to talk about one concept in here that basically is one of the most important concepts from the market profile standpoint. Um, so my analysis here is going to be based on what the market profile provides in terms of information and what's going to be our plan for next week. Uh, I don't normally do these videos in a consistent basis, but we're going to go and try to be more consistent this year, providing this kind of information, which is great for people that love market profile analysis and things like that. So, what we got here is we got two boxes. We got one that is bigger than the other. So what we got here is basically a balance. If you look at the weekly chart, um, this will be a balance area that is from 61.64 to the low that was made over here, 5898. So the market right now has a state of balance for that. You can call it a 2 week balance. So unless we break below here or here, we won't know which way we're going to go. And it just happened that the halfback or the midpoint of that balance area is right around here. If you look at the big number, is exactly where we at 6031. Now, when you look at the next box here, this one, let's make it a little darker. This is the daily balance. And what the daily balance tells with this portion here from 5993.63, 59.63, I'm sorry, and 6108 in this area right here is just based on RTH. Very important to speak about that. Um, that we, when it comes to market profile analysis, I say we, but mostly most of the people that use this kind of analysis, we're only looking at RTH number. Stuff that happens overnight doesn't necessarily carry any importance for my analysis. So that's totally irrelevant. It doesn't mean that it's not there. What it means is that it's not important to me. I trade only RTH anyways, so not that there's any benefit to it. But anyways, going back here, let's talk about what's important. So we have a weekly 2 week balance. We can probably label this here. Let me highlight this, and we can put in the text and add a text here. 2 week balance. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 day balance. I can go on and explain how to identify the zone, but this is not the video for that. If you want to learn a little bit more, then that would be something that we need to talk about at offsites. Because this is not necessarily a video in which I'm just going to spend time teaching these concepts. This is more of like, hey, this is analysis. This is what I think it will go, uh, and you know, take it from there. So we have 4 day balance right there, 4 days. All right. So now that we established these areas here, the market moves based on extensions, and I think what the market is doing is waiting for new information to make the next move, and we're just gonna be paying attention to that and see what happens next. Inside the balance, obviously, we have these candles that are here, and this is the FOMC event. So when you measure the FOMC from here to here, give us an idea of that range, and we can use some of that information to determine some potential moves and targets that we're likely to revisit. So let me just measure this move here, and it looks like it was 229 points. Holy wow, 229 points. That's insane. Well, it is what it is. So inside that balance area, that's what we got. We got a move that it was very significant, um, and we need to be aware of that. It was a 230 points move, almost the entire balance area. So what we're gonna be looking for is the midpoint of this big balance is 6034. And if you look at the 4 days midpoint, it gives us 4036. So we're basically from 31 to 36. We have a 5 point zone here that basically dictates the midpoint of both of these balance areas. So we need to be extremely careful with this level here to initiate our trades. And the way that I have it set up for this week is that if we hold above this area, 6034, what I think will happen is you see a value gap here that is likely to get filled, um, which is this gap right here. It's a value gap from Friday from 6055 all the way up to this area here, 6097. So we have a 45 point gap there, 4045. So what this suggests in terms of the weekly plan is that if we hold above this level here, which is the green line, 6034, our targets would be basically the middle of the gap, 6073, then the top of the gap, or the top of the 4 days balance, which is going to take us to um, 6108 in this area here. And if we break above that, then you're looking at 6045 or 6145 potentially reaching this area here. So it's a 20 point zone here in which we will expect the market to stall or potentially this area find some sort of resistance. No, if the market breaks above this level, then we got to use the extensions. So in my case, if the market was to do something along the way, let's just take a look at this area, for example. Look at this path. Let's say we break above the 4 day balance. What I was likely to do, it would be something like this, and then target the top, and then probably come back to test, and then we get to the 50% extension of that move, meaning uh, half of this box here. So that's a 50% extension, and potentially looking to target in this area here, which is 6254. It doesn't have to happen in one session, but it's something that we need to be aware of. If we were to break from the weekly balance, which is this level right here, obviously to get here, then we're going to be looking at a bigger target, which would be somewhere in the 6300s. That basically is an entire, actually, it will be half of the weekly balance. So it will take us into this level here. So this is the pivot area. Obviously, as soon as we stay above this, there's a chance that we can get up to here. But we will look at it on a daily basis, and we will say, okay, so then this will be potentially the max move that I'm probably forecasting for next week. It's a short week, so it's um, it doesn't mean it's gonna get there. It was 6254. It's basically what the entire one 1x of this area here will be. And the same can be said about this level here. Obviously, if we break below, then you expect something like this, and then we'll look for the same 1%. Um, so it would take us into this to here, 5817. So that's the level that I believe, if that would be a full measurement of this area here. So if you were to just basically do this and clone this box, and then you drag it down from the bottom, it'll give us 100% extension right here to 5817, and the same to the upside. So that's basically what I'm gonna be looking at for next week in terms of direction from this area here. Now, obviously, we don't have to play the breakout of the area. We can focus a little bit more on the midpoint, and that's what it's designed to do. We can see something like this, or we can see something like that. So that's very important. So if we go in here and then we fall back into the zone, so let's just say that we break out and then come back over here, then you know that it's gonna balance right back into the midpoint. Same thing can be said about here. So just be careful with that. When we're dealing with balance areas, we have to be extremely careful because there's a lot of look above or look below and fail, and those are things that we need to be fully aware of. But until otherwise, we are looking at this line here. It's 100% extension of that particular move. So we'll see what can potentially happen. In this area here, and you're looking at the same option here, um, just to see where we go. But it's targets in between, so we just focus on those targets. I would write the definition of what it means to be in balance and all of that stuff. Just make sure to read the text that I'm going to attach to this particular video. Now, when you take the profile and you look at the last 2 weeks balance, you can see that the midpoint of that is right around here. It's right below the midpoint of the actual balance zone. So we have it right here about 6015. So just be careful with that because obviously it's a POC and normally the market has a tendency to gravitate to POCs. Um, so when you look at that, then that's what basically we got out of that area. Um, we can also draw the same profile inside this box here and see, okay, then we take a look at the last 4 days. And you can see the midpoint is in the same spot, 6015. When you look at the 2 weeks, and it's 6015. So you had a big area here to deal with, and that area is specifically the 6015 to the 6034. So 20 points on, so it can bounce from anywhere in here, but I feel that the market's waiting for new information to be able to resolve this particular balance areas here. All right, so that's all I got. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.